Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, what's good? It's your boy Dre La Soul here for some more crypto news, crypto wisdom for your head top, everything crypto, blockchain, Web3, and fintech. So today is going to be the ultimate Blockfolio breakdown. And Blockfolio is my blockchain portfolio. So the ultimate breakdown of the crypto portfolio. Yes, this is probably going to be one of the biggest videos that I've uploaded on this channel all year, even for 2024. I'm going to be giving you a full rundown of every single coin in my core portfolio, which I like to call the Blockfolio. I'm going to be covering my top altcoins from every crypto sector, my thesis, and the reasoning behind holding each coin, right? So I'll be sharing some strategies for accumulating these coins as well to make sure that you have a successful crypto journey in the year 2024 that I think is going to present like some massive opportunities for crypto investors that prepare themselves early by watching this video, right? I believe you'll be in an amazing spot to smash 2024 because it's up for the whole 2024. It's gains. I like to think of crypto as a highly narrative-based industry, and for this reason, that's why I structured the portfolio in such a way. This list focuses primarily on low and mid cap as well as large cap tokens. But it doesn't cover like the micro cap tokens, right? The real small, shady, spicy coins, I like to call them, right? Micro caps are those that can be very tricky. Some of them are rug pulls, some of them are scams, or some of them are the next upcoming Salanas. You never know. These are like tokens in the sub 20 million worth as far as like the market cap. So in future videos, I'll cover micro caps and whatnot. We could discuss it and chop it up in future videos. But for this video, we're going to be focusing more on my core portfolio. But of course, this is not financial advice. This is just a review of what I've been putting my hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears into. Obviously, you can extrapolate that and do all sorts of crazy things and whatever you want to do, but this is my core portfolio. It's about 30 tokens or so. You could build around these tokens, around the allocations that will be presented in this video in terms of percentages and how you want to break it down based on medium risk, your particular risk tolerance. So of course your portfolio is going to look a lot different as far as the weightings are concerned. You might have a more risky portfolio. You might have a less risky portfolio. You might want to keep it safe and just stick with all the higher caps. You might like those micro caps. But if you want to take on less risk, you might allocate more towards like higher caps like Bitcoin, Ethereum, so on and so forth. My percentage weightings are based on my personal conviction. In actual practice, you would have to tweak yours a bit based on your risk tolerance, pretty much, right? And again, this is not financial advice. Now, I can't include every single coin in today's video. You will probably notice that some of your favorite coins might not get spoken about, and that's okay. I can't cover all of them, right? Some of the coins I like, I might not be able to cover as well. So I was really super selective when coordinating this list to prioritize the coins that I'm mostly bullish on, based on my particular conviction and how I see the future turning out for cryptocurrency and based on my studies over the past few years, right? So whether you got a $100,000 portfolio, $10,000 portfolio, $1,000 portfolio, or you just starting out with $100, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's portfolio is going to be different. But let's get it started without further ado. Again, this is not financial advice. It's your boy Dre La Soul here with Urbanblockchain, here to give you more blockchain info for your head top. Now, number one, of course, is the granddaddy, the one that started it all. We got to give it up to big Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is number one. I ain't going to spend too much time on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but of course I hold Bitcoin. That's what started it off. That's the first crypto I ever bought. I'm a big believer in digital gold, that whole digital gold narrative, it being a store of value. I believe that it has a firm place in the monetary system, considering the rampant money printing and dilution of major currencies. Now, if you didn't know, all fiat currencies fail at some point in time. It's just a matter of time where the dollar is going to fail. But ultimately, I don't think the dollar will fail because I think they're just going to transition it into a stable coin, and that will be the new dollar. but the fiat version of that will die out because they all do. That's just how they're designed, right? It's been tons of money printed since the pandemic, and I'm sure you pretty much know about that because everyone was an economist during that time frame. So right now is a super exciting time for Bitcoin. There's a lot of news around Bitcoin and the Bitcoin spot ETF on the horizon. Perhaps when you're watching this video, that would have already been approved. If you're watching a few weeks after I've posted this, you'll also have the Bitcoin halving, which is the major event for Bitcoin that happens every 4 years, which reduces the new issuance of Bitcoin coming into the market into half. So pretty much the creation of Bitcoin is getting reduced by half. That happens every 4 years. It's in the code of Bitcoin. It's in the white paper, which is the instructions of Bitcoin. Bitcoins get paid out in mining rewards to those who are mining, and those rewards are getting cut in half every 4 years. So rewards are shared, and they typically create a super strong positive price response for Bitcoin, and a lot of the liquidity then flows down into altcoins. So the way the money flows is the money goes from Bitcoin. When people make gains in Bitcoin, they transfer it over to the next Bitcoin, which is Ethereum. The next big coin, not Bitcoin, the next big coin, BIG, which is Ethereum, and so on and so forth, right? Bitcoin has deserved a place in my portfolio, and it should in your portfolio as well. But I do respect people that don't want to hold Bitcoin. They think Bitcoin is slow, it's outdated, it's ancient. But if your financial goals don't necessarily lend themselves towards holding, this super major cap coin, then, I understand. Some people might be only investing $1 to $200. And if your goal is to make $100,000 with $2,000, well, you probably don't want to hold Bitcoin, I'm guessing, right? So I also understand the people that wouldn't want Bitcoin in their portfolio. But for me and my financial goals and just the way I see the monetary system, Bitcoin is always going to be in the portfolio. It just makes sense. It's more like a stock in terms of how the value and the risk and whatnot. It moves similar to like the high value tech stocks and whatnot. Now, Ethereum is the second token in the portfolio, of course, and I've given it an equal weighting to Bitcoin. I see them like neck and neck, really and truly. Some people might say that Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin, whatever. In my opinion, they do two different things. They're here for two different reasons, but they complement each other as to why I have equal weightings for Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now, when you're betting on Ethereum, you're basically betting on the success of Ethereum as a technology. So Bitcoin is the whole digital gold, store of value narrative. Ethereum is more about the technology. So again, you'll be betting on the technology, it being able to gain adoption over time, more usage on the network, which will eventually lead to more Ethereum supply being burned. So I'll explain that a little bit more. But since Ethereum went through the merger recently, earlier this year, when Ethereum switched from proof of work, which is like the whole mining thing like Bitcoin, to more of a proof of stake, which is where you stake your coins to secure the network, there has been 314,000 Ethereum taken out of the supply because they've been burnt. Now, that has a massive material effect on the market, and I think the proof of stake switch has been one of the greatest things for Ethereum from a supply perspective. Just think about what's going to happen, right, when we go into a crazy bull run and a lot of people are entering, using the chain, paying these high gas fees on the chain, using layer 2 platforms in the Ethereum ecosystem. It's only going to be a net positive for the Ethereum token overall. And let's not forget, there are deflationary supply mechanisms built into Ethereum. So that's one of the amazing things about ETH. So over time, it should be deflationary. This is probably the biggest fundamental driver behind the whole Ethereum thesis. It's just such a huge wealth effect because it has that first mover advantage, because it has many of the primary crypto dApps built on Ethereum. It has a super strong market share compared to the rest of the market. And you would think that over the last year or so, Ethereum would be losing its market share, but that couldn't be anything further from the truth. It still has a strong dominance. Bitcoin dominance is between like 50 and 60. It remains that way. And Ethereum's dominance has been around like 15, 16, 17%, which is fairly strong. And it's in terms of TVL, which is total value locked, it's up there. It's remaining fairly stagnant in the fact that only real competitors that have gained significant percentage wise on Ethereum are like the layer 2s, and layer 2s obviously provide a benefit back to Ethereum. So although in terms of total value lock, some of the layer 2 platforms have been outshining lately, they still all lead back to Ethereum. So like I always say, all roads lead to Ethereum, right? So overall, I believe Ethereum is extremely well placed to continue with its growth. I don't think 10,000 is possible. There's a meme going around about ETH hitting 10,000. I mean, eventually maybe, but we'll definitely see a supply squeeze on Ethereum. And another thing Ethereum has going for it is the potential for a spot Ethereum ETF. We've already seen applications, and if the Bitcoin spot ETF gets approved, I think we could see not only an Ethereum spot ETF narrative, but also a potential approval in the very near future, maybe even quicker than the Bitcoin approval has been taken, right? Which will increase institutional interest in Ethereum as an asset, similar to what it's doing to Bitcoin. So that's my take on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So next is Salana. So Salana has been killing it lately. We have to let it be known. Now, Salana has been through a lot. A lot of people hated on Salana because it was attached to the whole FTX situation, and Sam Bankman-Fried was one of the biggest investors. So when FTX collapsed, everyone thought Salana was collapsing with it. Salana had some outages on their blockchain where they had to turn the blockchain off, and blockchain shouldn't be turning off necessarily. They should be ongoing because it's decentralized. So that was showing that it's a centralized entity. So people was really hating on Salana, but it's been working through it. Throughout the bear market, it's been working and hustling hard. Solana falls into the layer 1 section of my portfolio, and so does Ethereum as well. But of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum have their own section in a sense. But the next biggest section will be layer 1s, and Solana is the top one in that one next to Ethereum. So my thesis when it comes to Solana, over the last few months, it's been experiencing massive growth. The daily active addresses are skyrocketing. The transactions have also been super impressive in like the 20 million region. The DEX, which is a decentralized exchange, volumes are increasing. TVL, which is the total value lock, is increasing massively. The DEX, or decentralized exchange volume, has been probably the most impressive metric. This comes off the back of a lot of airdrops and airdrop farming. So Solana really stands out as one of the front runners in this vertical. From pure diversification perspective, it makes a lot of sense to include it in your portfolio. It's considered an Ethereum killer. So if you want to have competition or, to hedge your bets against Ethereum, Solana is a good option to have in the portfolio. Second is it's just as important as the first one. It has the best developer ecosystem in crypto. I really can't name any other chain with such a strong developer ecosystem. And what this means is just the quality of developers, or devs as we like to call it, and the sheer output of those devs in terms of building amazing applications on chain is amazing. The other thing I want to know is that it's battle tested. Not only has it, experienced massive downtime, technologically speaking, like those outages I was talking about, it's also gone through probably the worst thing that any coin could possibly have gone through, and that's the collapse of FTX and Alameda Research, which was one of its biggest backers. They also sold a bunch of, Solana when it came to the FTX liquidation, but also the Robinhood forced liquidation as well. Salana was on Robinhood at one point, but then the SEC was coming down on these cryptocurrencies. So, Salana was on the chopping block. But FUD event after FUD event, Salana is still here standing strong, right? They have a strong community, which is definitely one thing to point out. The fact that it still has a strong developer ecosystem, right? The fact that its price has been skyrocketing like crazy, and people are still a big fan of Solana despite it being dragged through the mud for the best part of last year. I mean, that is just a testament to how strong the chain is and the ecosystem is. Yeah, so that's pretty much the reason why Solana is one of the top players in the layer 1 section of my Blockfolio. So the next player in the layer 1 section of the Blockfolio is Casper, right? This layer 1 is what many will call a dark horse. This is one of my more riskier layer 1 bets. As it is very new compared to others. It has a lot to prove based on its competition with the likes of Salana, Avalanche, Cardano, Near Protocol, etc. However, Casper's white paper resembles Bitcoin, so it's very similar to Bitcoin. The most out of any Bitcoin fork, to be honest. Many say that it's the silver to Bitcoin's digital gold. The word Casper actually means silver in like some ancient, I don't remember what language, but it does mean silver technically. Now, what makes Casper so special, like most cryptos, it's all about the tech. Casper operates on what we call the Ghost DAG chain, which is different from a regular blockchain. Blockchain record data in a linear sequence, where Ghost DAGs is a modular. So pretty much multiple blocks can be created simultaneously instead of in an assembly line. In a nutshell, it just makes the chain super fast for transactions and scaling overall. This is not financial advice, but Casper is definitely one to have on your radar based on its run this year. It has earned a spot in my portfolio because of that. Now, next is Cosmos. Cosmos apps and services connecting using the IBC, which is the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol. Cosmos sees itself as the internet of all blockchains. This innovation enables you to freely exchange assets and data across sovereign decentralized blockchains, because technically these different blockchains don't actually communicate with each other. They're like separate little islands, and they need bridges in order to communicate. Cosmos is the ultimate tech pack for building blockchains. So they have an SDK, which is a software developer kit, which allows people to build blockchains. Some of the dopest blockchains have been built on Cosmos, like Injective, and even Luna was dope, even though it collapsed based on some, foolishness. It was still a dope chain. And you got tons of other dope chains that have been created on there. Some of the most game-changing blockchains have been the Lunas, the Injective Protocol, Store Chain, to name a few. Cosmos has the most user-friendly SDK, and it's the most explosive as far as the coins that it creates within their ecosystem. So Cosmos definitely deserves a place in any Blockfolio. Next is probably one of my favorite, Chainlink. The name explains it all. Like, it's linking all the chains. Similar to Cosmos, but in a way very different to Cosmos as well. So Chainlink, for a long time, people didn't really understand the Chainlink thesis, and they thought like the tokenomics wasn't great. But I've been a fan no matter what, right? Chainlink, I believe that all investors should stay adaptive in their thesis, and this is pretty much a testament of what I did. But sometimes you should be willing to change your opinion. So those that hated on on Chainlink, definitely look into it now, because with the CCIP coming around, it's gonna change the game. So that is like their way of connecting all the blockchains. So like the way that the internet connects, the way that we're able to surf all these different web pages is with ICP. And so CCIP is pretty much the blockchain version of that in a nutshell, right? Now, in addition to that, Chainlink is also the home of DeFi because it is an oracle, which means it takes information from the outside world. So like events, data, things like weather, prices of assets, and things like that, and it brings it onto the blockchain so that we can use it and use that information in decentralized finance to be able to trade and do things like smart contracts and so on and so forth. So Chainlink is super dope infrastructure play to have, right, in your Blockfolio. So for instance, like when you import treasury yield data on chain, or real estate price data on chain, bond price data on chain, any data on chain, you have to use an oracle. So this is why Chainlink stands to benefit the most. Link is actually the market leader in the whole oracle sector, and for that reason, it gets a pretty hefty percentage weighting in my Blockfolio, right? But this is not financial advice, so please do your own research. So moving on to the next coin, the next layer one crypto in my Blockfolio is Injective. Injective is another token that has been extremely strong this year, and it has really impressed me over the last few months in terms of what's being developed. If you don't know what Injective is, it's considered a blockchain that's built for finance. It's one of the fastest, they claim, and it is the fastest layer one blockchain, which has a built-in order book, Oracle DeFi application that is built on top of it, and is built on the Cosmos chain, as I was saying before. So when it comes to Cosmos, the Atom token isn't really the best as far as like value accrual, as far as an investment. It's not the best. So if you want to take advantage of the overall Cosmos ecosystem, honestly, Injective has been the best bet. It has been filling its gap because it's become essentially your bona fide bet on the Cosmos ecosystem. But you also get the upside to the extremely strong ecosystem that's built on Injective. And the amount of protocols that are building and launching on the Injective protocol and the overall growth in recent transaction volume has also been super impressive. Overall, the tech is super impressive, and there's an amazing thread that Injective actually posted that actually provides some resources to a lot of the articles. So if you want to learn more about the tech side, they also have some information on that. And they have very good, tokenomics. They essentially have a burn auction mechanism, which 60% of the fees collected across all the dApps undergo a decentralized buyback and burn auction. It's one of the only layer one blockchains that has a built-in burn function. And that's also why the price has been so explosive in recent times, because as the transaction volume has started to increase, a lot more tokens are being burnt, removing them from supply. So it also doesn't have that much dilution coming onto the market. So a lot of the suppressor sell pressure has already happened in the bear market, and now you're actually seeing supply leaving the market and also being locked up. So Injective is an amazing protocol and definitely has a place in my Blockfolio. So next is Avalanche. Avalanche is one that has stood out and has stood the test of time, being around since last cycle. I really like AVAX for primary reasons. And I'll get into those super quickly. The first reason is gaming. I think a lot of amazing gaming games, a lot of amazing crypto games are being built on Avalanche. And out of all the blockchains in crypto alongside Immutable X and Salana, AVAX, in my opinion, has to be top 3 for crypto gaming because of the ability to spin up their subnets and have custom subnets that power crypto gaming. So pretty much instead of having everything built on one chain causing congestion, they allow you to create these little sub categories or sub chains, which is really dope and good for overall scalability, right? So that allows for games, intensive DeFi apps, and so on and so forth to be built on AVAX. Also, AVAX has the whole real world asset vertical. This is something they've been pioneering, and they are definitely one of the leaders when it comes to the real world asset. Because as you know, Larry Fink from BlackRock said that the future of finance is asset tokenization. Another reason why I believe in Avalanche is because it's EVM compatible. EVM stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine compatible, so it can communicate with Ethereum. So anything that can be built on Ethereum could essentially interact with AVAX, which puts it in a really great place because all roads lead to Ethereum, right? So that's it for the whole layer 1 section of the Blockfolio. Now we're going to move over to the layer 2 section, and this is perfect because most of the layer 2s reside on the Ethereum blockchain, so they're EVM compatible as well. And the 2 biggest bets are ARBITRUM and Optimism, and then we have a third one, which is Polygon, which is more like the OG of the layer 2s. But I believe the layer 1 narrative is an essential part of crypto, so we can't forget the importance that the Ethereum ecosystem has in crypto. And for that reason, the wealth effect that Ethereum ecosystem represents is crazy. A lot of wealth, a lot of liquidity is on Ethereum because it is the biggest chain, right? Now, layer 2s are like bridges for the Ethereum ecosystem, right? And layer 2s are designed to allow Ethereum to scale much faster. So my top layer 2 picks ahead of EIP 4844, which is the term or the technical term for the Ethereum upgrade. This Ethereum upgrade is set to happen on the Ethereum network in Q1 of 2024, which is set to reduce the gas fees on layer 2s by an order of magnitude. One thing that people don't like about Ethereum is that the gas fees to interact and to do transactions are crazy high. And with layer 2s, it allows you to do stuff at a cheaper rate. But with this upgrade, it's going to reduce those fees even more. So make it a lot cheaper compared to Ethereum. So that's actually pretty dope. It's a major catalyst for the layer 2 ecosystem, in my opinion. All right, so let's start with ARBITRUM. So the ARBITRUM ecosystem has been exploding in TVL, total value locked. And if we look on DeFi Llama, ARBITRUM is the 4th ranked project when it comes to TVL in the whole crypto industry, with $2.3 billion locked. Total value locked of $2.3 billion. That's crazy. That's more than Salana, Avalanche, and Polygon, as well as Optimism. Now, despite ARBITRUM actually having lower valuation by a factor of like 1.5 to Optimism, it has more daily transactions. So, that is why I'm talking about ARBITRUM first. But Optimism is still pretty dope as well. Optimism, we can't fade Optimism at all. there's a lot of activity happening on Optimism as well. Coinbase actually released their layer 2 platform called Base on Optimism. So that's going to allow for a lot of activity to be happening on Optimism as well. Now, Polygon obviously has been known for some of the strongest business development in the whole entire crypto space, especially the layer 2 space. Now, they have partnerships with Nike, Adidas, Starbucks, Reddit, Meta, Robinhood, eBay, Disney, Stripe, Adobe. All of these are partnering with Polygon, and this is amazing. However, we do know a lot of the time these partnerships are just optics. They don't necessarily have the most material effect on Polygon, but this isn't the real reason why I'm bullish on Polygon. That's just part of it. So one of the real reasons why I'm bullish on Polygon is because of the technology, the ZK EVM technology. So ZK EVM, zero knowledge proof, is a new scaling solution that they've launched using ZK rollups, zero knowledge proof rollups. This is really dope. This tech is really amazing. Do some research on it yourself. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but that's part of the reason why I think Polygon should be held in the Blockfolio as well, alongside with the other layer 2 platforms. Now, when it comes to layer 2s, scaling on Ethereum, there's a specific niche that I think is dope as well, which is the gaming and the NFT niche. And for that, we have Immutable X. So Immutable X is the next crypto that's in the Blockfolio. When it comes to the gaming sector, this one has to be considered. This is one of the best plays if you don't want to deal with all the different games and all the different gaming categories. IMX is definitely your way to go. But again, just so that you know, when it comes to gaming, the different categories are infrastructure, gaming studios, gaming products, and the actual games. IMX is allowing people to create gaming assets at essentially for free, because it is a layer 2 on the Ethereum blockchain. And there's big institutions already coming out saying that IMX stands to be the best gaming token for the future of crypto, at least for 2024. Now, moving on to some other gaming coins, we got Vulcan Forge and Gala. I love gaming studios. I think that's the best bet. They pretty much pump out multiple games, right? And because of that, it gives it a bit of a diverse exposure to the crypto gaming ecosystem. Vulcan Forge and Nakamoto Games are great examples of these, and they definitely make my portfolio because they offer some nice exposure to a basket of crypto games, not just one game, right? So sticking with the whole gaming sector of the Blockfolio, we're going to move on to the next coin in gaming, which is Echelon Prime. It probably doesn't have Blockbuster written all over it. It's a basic game. It's a card game, but I'm very, very excited about this particular project. Just in the first couple of weeks, they already had 50,000 games played for their card game. And since then, users have been piling into this ecosystem, and they've been pretty much outdoing a lot of other gaming platforms that's out right now. The most exciting upcoming gaming studios, to be honest. So please keep an eye on Echelon Prime. They're going to be launching more games within their ecosystem in the future, and they have big backing by the likes of like Coinbase. So not many crypto games have big backing from exchanges like Coinbase, like Echelon Prime does, right? Coinbase and having a Coinbase listing is a major deal in this crypto space. So I'm very positive and I'm very bullish on Echelon Prime. So that's definitely one to have on your radar. And again, this is not financial advice. Now, moving on to the next sector of the Blockfolio is AI. AI. Yo, all of 2023, majority of it has been talking about AI, whether it's the chip makers like NVIDIA going crazy in the stock market, or if it's ChatGPT and Barb and all these different AI platforms like Midjourney coming out, AI is the place to be. And AI and crypto is the perfect marriage, in my opinion. So Render and Akash Network are the two AI coins that I love. You have Agix, which is Singularity Net, which is a dope one as well. And you have Fetch AI, which also has a small portion of my Blockfolio. But Render and Akash Network are probably the two bigger plays when it comes to the AI space. Now, when it comes to AI, there are going to be some winners and there are going to be some losers. But I think for the most part, all of them are probably going to be winners because the AI craze is just ridiculous, right? Now, when it comes to machine learning and cloud computing and rendering, this is what Akash Network and Render Network is providing. They're providing decentralized GPU power and an amazing network. So it's really dope. And what's dope about Render is their parent company is partnered with Apple. So Apple, like Macs, they already have Render associated with them in the tech of their the Mac computers, right? So that's pretty dope. So it's called Octane 10. You can look it up yourself if you don't believe me. But Render is associated with Apple, pretty much. Now, in addition to that, if you want to just stick with the craze and what the hype, if you want to stick with the craze and the hype, AI is definitely a way to go. So Render Network and Akash Network is definitely two you should have on your radar. Now, the next section is probably the most hated section and the most loved section at the same time, and that's meme coins. Now, the top memes, in my opinion, are Doge, because it is the number one meme. It's the OG. Then you got Shiba, which is the Ethereum version of Doge, technically. Then you got Pepe, which is probably one of the most popular memes before crypto, before meme coins. And then you got Bonk, which is the dog coin, the meme coin for the Salana blockchain. And as you know, Salana has been making its cementing its place in the whole layer one ecosystem. So it deserves a right to be spoken about as well. Memes. This is what most of you have been waiting for. Most of the DGen people that love those spicy coins, they love memes, right? Now, I'm going to explain my logic here. Meme coins are basically the lifeblood of crypto. I mean, we can't deny memes, and we can't deny the love that people have for memes, right? The narratives, we can't deny it at all either. So when it comes to crypto, it is really all about culture, and the meme coins fill that space, right? So they shouldn't be counted out, to be honest. Similar to gaming, meme coins, when they run really hard. So I think it makes sense to have some exposure to them, whether it's just Dogecoin or Shiba, or if it's Pepe or Bonk, whichever one you like, you know what I mean? Break it down how you like. But I think it makes sense to have some exposure to it because it's all about the culture. And you got to think of when retail comes back into the crypto space, they're just going to click on the coins that they think are cool, things that look familiar, like the Pepe frog or Doge or the dog. Oh, I love the cute dog. I'm going to invest in this one. So we want to front run that technically idiotic gambling way of investing. And let's be honest, all of us are guilty of doing it, but we want to be ahead of the herd. So that's the reason why meme coins have a good place in my portfolio as well. But that's pretty much the breakdown of my crypto portfolio. The goal is to trade and hold these particular coins until I make a certain amount of gains, right? And then I'm going to take those gains and put them into my top tier platforms or cryptocurrencies. So like the gaming, the AI, the meme tokens, those are just verticals to create more funds so I could then put it into like the Solanas, the Ethereums, the Injectives, the Bitcoin and so on and so forth. So that's my strategy. And to take these very spicy, culture-driven, meme-driven, hype-driven, crazy hype-driven coins and, invest in the early stage, front run the retail investors, watch it run up, right? And then dump that into the solid platforms, right? Because what goes up must come down. So the way it works is usually, Bitcoin starts to rise leading up to the Bitcoin halving, which is every 4 years. Then Bitcoin hits its peak like about within 12 months after that Bitcoin halving. And then, like I was saying before, the money flows into Ethereum, then into the other big large cap coins, then into the mid cap coins, then into the micro coins, so on and so forth. And then once you start hearing your bus driver or a taxi driver to tell you to invest into a cryptocurrency, it's probably time to start taking profits and time to run. That's just something I heard a couple of years back, but it's usually the case. If someone that shouldn't be versed in or is not really versed technically, by face value, of course, because you can't judge a book by its cover, but someone that you would assume is not really versed in investments and whatnot, if they start to tell you about investments, it's probably time to run for the hills, right? But that's my game plan and how I plan to invest and take advantage of this crypto bull run, because it's time to make some FU money, right? That's what we all want to make. Let's be honest. We're all here for that. Trust me, I love the tech. I love the innovation. I love sticking it to the man and sticking it to the system and all that good shit. But guess what? At the end of the day, it's about making that bag. It's about getting this bread. And that's what we're here to do. So, again, this is not financial advice. That's just a breakdown of my actual Blockfolio and what I'm putting my time into and my research into. Again, you should do your own research. Dior. Like my man Pop Smoke said, do your own research. Tap in for more crypto, blockchain, Web3 info for your head top. We out.